Hi trainers, I'm Teeds, this is Nuts, and today we're having a look at the new patch notes with the actual numbers this time to get a really good idea of how everything is changed. And let me tell you, it is much bigger than I thought than just, reading the vague patch notes earlier. This is all from UniteDB. Huge shout out to UniteDB for testing this out and doing everything for us. We're going to go through them, the links are down below. And I'll also be doing a bunch of gameplays, checking out the buffs and nerfs. So if you'd like to be notified for that, feel free to subscribe and click the bell. Like the video if you found this helpful, and for the question of the day, which buff/nerf do you think was the most deserved? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, let's jump into it. So the first one we have is Crustle. X Scissors got a cooldown reduction from 9 seconds down to 7 seconds. Now that is a 2-second difference. This means you can use this move like way more often now, and X Scissors is pretty scary on Crustle. I definitely want to try a full damage build with X Scissors. I want to see if this is like a lot better now. Haven't seen many Crustles in my games recently, so I'm wondering if this will bring Crustle back. Next we have Blastoise, and this one was really interesting. So Blastoise's rapid spin is no longer unstoppable. It now resists hindrances. When I read this, I was really confused. I was like, what does that even mean? And I went into a game with MaxiQ who helped me test this. So as you can see here, instead of saying unstoppable now in rapid spin, it says hindrance resistance. So it has that long text. Now it says hindrance resistance instead of unstoppable. And I used to be like, guys, don't worry about me, I'm unstoppable right now. But now I have to say, guys, don't worry about me, I'm hindrance resisting right now. Like, what? It's just funny how long it is. That's my new saying when I'm playing Blastoise. Don't worry guys, I'm hindrance resisting right now. But anyways, I tested what this means. So basically, Blastoise's rapid spin will be still going off, but you can be stunned, you can be crowd controlled. For Mamoswine specifically, when he Ice Fangs me, I don't actually get pulled in the direction that Mamoswine is like want to take me. Instead, I just get pushed back. So there might be some other really interesting like ways crowd control works of Blastoise in this. For some of them, Blastoise starts walking around like this, like for example the stun. When I'm stunned, after I am stunned, I have this weird animation that doesn't make any sense, but that's Blastoise's new, I guess, hindrance resistance walk. But yeah, so basically it just means that your rapid spin will still be going off, but you can be crowd controlled within it. So it doesn't stop the move, it just stops you in place, but the damage will still be going off, is what I understand from what I've tested. That is a pretty huge nerf for Blastoise, like really, really big, because the unstoppable was so powerful. Next we have Hydro Pump. The cooldown has been reduced from 8.5 seconds to 7.5 seconds, so a 1 second cooldown reduction. Don't know how much this is going to do for Blastoise, but personally I've always loved Hydro Pump as a move by itself, so I'm really happy to try it out. The Unite move has got a big nerf. Its damage is now a lot lower, and I'm really sad because this damage was already nerfed beforehand, so they've nerfed it again. I don't know how big this is going to impact Blastoise, but from what I get here in these numbers and such, I think Blastoise got a major nerf. However, we'll have to try it out in game and see how other people perceive Blastoise and how it does in the meta. But yeah, rapid spin especially, just a really big nerf. Next we have Greninja. So Greninja has been doing really well in solo queue lately. Surf is just really powerful. The damage has been reduced, not as much as I thought it would be, so it's not too bad. However, I will have to try it out, and Shuriken might be seeing some more usage now on Greninja. I love Surf and Shuriken, but I love Surf a little bit more, so I might try to stick with it, but I'm willing to see if Shuriken is going to be like better for Greninja, to see how it does with Shuriken in the meta. So yeah, Greninja just has a Surf nerf. Lucario. So Lucario's extreme speed plus the damage has been decreased, so from 15% now to 7.5%. With extreme speed plus you get a damage buff, so that damage buff was 15% more damage, now it's a 7.5% more damage. That is a decent nerf, I would say, but we'll have to see. Once again, I am an extreme speed user on Lucario, so I haven't played Lucario in a very long time though. However, Lucario has been proven many times to just really ignore its nerfs, and like it just doesn't care. Power Up Punch, they haven't figured out Power Up Punch yet. It's to be determined still, so they're still looking into Power Up Punch. I guess it's a bit more trickier here. Next we have Hoopa. So Hoopa's Unite move is their second biggest draw. So Hoopa's Unite move, the damage has been reduced, Hyperspace Fury damage has been reduced, and the Psybeam damage has been reduced. We have all the numbers here. Have to try it in game to see how it does. Hoopa has been wreaking havoc in the meta with like how fast you can rotate, bringing allies back to base to full health, and then just just getting them straight back into the fight. It's pretty crazy. So I'm wondering if this damage reduction, at least for the Unite move, I think it's fine because the Unite move damage was pretty crazy. For Hyperspace, I'm not sure if, I mean, like the damage can be a lot. However, I think a lot of Hoopas use that for their allies just to bring them back and stuff. And yeah, so I don't have much experience with Psybeam, but I am curious to see if this damage reduction is what Hoopa needed. Next, we have Cinderace. So Cinderace's Blaze Kick, the damage has been reduced. Really sad because I love Blaze Kick. I'm sorry, I'm a dirty Blaze Kick Cinderace main. What can I say? Then Pyro Plus. So Pyro Plus, so Pyro Ball, I can't say it. So Pyro Ball Plus is a move that is not being picked up as much because of Blaze Kick, I think, and this is why they have buffed it. They probably want more usage out of it. What Pyro Ball Plus adds is it reduces the other move you have, like the cooldown of it. So it's now been increased. So now instead of 2 seconds, it is 4 seconds, which is better. So for example, if you picked up Flame Charge, which has a 5-second cooldown, if you use Flame Charge and then you use Pyro Ball after, instead of reducing that Flame Charge to like 3 seconds, it will actually go down all the way to 1 second instead. It has a 5-second cooldown, and by the time you use Pyro Ball, it should go down to a 1-second cooldown, which means it's like pretty much back up right away. I think it's crazy for Cinderace. I don't know. I have to try it in game, but it sounds crazy. And with Faint having like a longer cooldown, so Faint is an 11-second cooldown at the moment. You would bring it down to like a 7-second cooldown, and Faint has also been buffed as well. So with Faint, it dodges slightly further. I am someone who really likes using Faint, so I'm gonna see how this works for me, but those are the changes for Cinderace. The Pyro Ball move CD reduction, especially for a Cinderace main, it sounds pretty crazy. Azumarill. So Azumarill has a buff, finally a buff, because Azumarill honestly to me doesn't seem to be doing much lately. So UniteDB has their own notes as well throughout the patch, and what they say is that this buff really increases their 1v1 potential and makes 1v2 fights less crippling, which is really cool to know because Azumarill thrives more in 1v1 situations, but now doesn't seem to get punished as much for a 1v2 situation. Aqua Tail got a huge buff, and the boosted range damage at level 8 in a 1v1 apparently does over 1,000 damage in a single hit, so that is really crazy. First, Azumarill's stats, everything has been increased here. It also now has lifesteal. Before apparently it did not have lifesteal, but now it does. So level 4 it has a 5%, and level 10 it has 10%, and the health stats have been increased. For Aqua Tail, the damage has been increased, so the close damage, and then we have the close boosted damage, we have the far damage and the far boosted damage. Play Rough has also got a damage increase, and this was the move that I was more concerned about because Play Rough, when it was first released, really did like no damage. The ratio is now 25% to 32%. I don't know how much that will do in game because it was already so, it seemed like so low already, right? I'm hoping this 32% is a lot better. For Gardevoir, so Gardevoir is next, and I've been hearing a lot of things about Gardevoir. Gardevoir now evolves into Gardevoir at level 8 and no longer at level 9. So now at level 8 it gets huge stat increases because in Pokemon Unite, when a Pokemon evolves, it gets a big old stat increase in like its health, attack, defense, etc. So the health stat has been increased, attack, everything here. Pretty crazy. I heard pretty nasty things about Gardevoir, like in a good way. So I'm really excited to try this because I love Gardevoir. Confusion, which in my last video I got confused for Moonblast. I really apologize for that. But with Confusion, which is Gardevoir's starting move, one of it, the damage actually is unchanged, but the damage per level has been increased with the base is what I'm understanding here. So the ratio hasn't been changed, but the per level damage has been increased by 3, I think. Psyshock damage has been increased. Apparently Psyshock, a lot of people are trying it out right now and they're saying it's good. So I really want to try out Psyshock. Psyshock was the original move that I used to use before Future Sight. Psyshock Plus, the bonus hit also increased. For Tsareena, so they said Tsareena has a fairly small buff, about 5% more attack, meaning 2 to 3% more damage to abilities. It's a little bit, but it doesn't hurt. So the stats of Tsareena have been increased. Just a tiny buff. It seems like they just want to tweak Tsareena a little bit because they thought Tsareena could be doing a bit better. It wasn't dominating too much, at least maybe not in their games, because in my game, Tsarena's Unite move, I hate Tsarena's Unite move. I just hate being picked up by Tsareena at very important objective fights. Who taught you that? If you watched my video, you probably learned that from me. I'm kidding. Although I do feel like it's a punch in the face because I did tell people to do that in one video and then now it only happens to me. So Next we have Slowbro. I've been hearing some really crazy things about Slowbro. So UnitedDB says that in their opinion this is the champion of the patch, Slowbro. And when Slowbro first got nerfed a long time ago, back in like early release days before mobile, Slowbro got nerfed and I made a ruckus on Twitter. I was like, why did you touch my Slowbro? But now Slowbro finally has a buff that seems to be actually game changing for Slowbro. So Scald, I don't know how to say it. The damage has been increased by a ton from 81% to 100%. The burn damage from 16% to 20%, and the burn attack reduction is 30% to 40%. And apparently the slow of, I think, Scald, I think it slows the enemy because I think burn damage slows enemies. Apparently that slow is like slow smoke slow, which is huge, right? Walking really slowly like you're in slow smoke on an ability that has such a low cooldown in comparison, I am scared. So apparently that is pretty crazy right now. And for the Unite move, the cooldown is from, I don't know what 120,000 energy is. I don't know what the seconds are, but I saw somewhere on Twitter that it was like 130 seconds to 110 seconds. That's just a guess. I don't know. Like maybe it's 120 to 110 seconds. I'm not too sure, but it does have a pretty like, I think it's like a 15 to 20 second cooldown reduction, which is huge in my opinion. And that Unite move honestly is, to me, is what kept Slowbro really annoying for a while, because that Unite move is pretty insane. It just can take it out of the fight, does so much damage to you. It's really annoying. It also says that it appears that Slowbro does not recover the Oblivious HP, which is the blue bar during the Unite channel. They don't know if it's a bug or intended. So yeah, next we have Venusaur. Venusaur Solar Beam has the damage increase, so pretty much a lot of Venusaur players use Petal Dance. Solar Beam not as much, and now they want to change that. They want to see more people use Solar Beam. I'm pretty happy with this buff because I like Solar Beam. I'm not very good at it, but I really like Solar Beam. So having this buffed so I can, you know, miss an attack that's even stronger now. I never hit Solar Beam, but I'm really excited to see all the Zapdos steals that I'm gonna get. Blissey has some changes as well, so the Egg Bomb damage has been decreased, and the Soft Boiled and Egg Bomb, the cooldown has been decreased, so it's from 8 seconds to 5 seconds. Ooh, I'm really excited to try this one out. Next we have Aegislash. So Aegislash Sacred Sword, the knockup duration to be determined. They don't know exactly the changes yet, but Aegislash got a nerf, I believe. Next we have Dragonite. The stats of Dragonite have been increased, so the attack has been increased. These are for the different levels, I think, which why is there 3 lines here. So I'm excited. This is definitely a damage increase. I like Dragonite, so I can't wait to try it. Next we have Mr. Mime. Debuff duration to be determined. They also mentioned that debuffs are pretty hard to measure, so they'll get this sooner or later. And next we have Sylveon, the Mystical Fire. Fix a bug affecting this move's use against wild Pokemon. Hold on. Does Mystical Fire hit wild Pokemon now? Hold on. I gotta go test this. So I just checked. It's not that. I wish it was, but it wasn't. So it just fixed a bug affecting these moves used against wild Pokemon. Maybe it was like a damage thing, because sometimes Sylveon's thing didn't attack wild Pokemon. At least I had that experience. I don't know if it's that. And for the last thing we have is XP share. The active ability, the XP per second, has been increased by a whopping 1 from 234 to 345. I would like to see more changes to XP share though, because I just don't think it has a usage in solo queue. So those are all the changes. I think the biggest ones to me in this patch is Slowbros, Blastoise, Gardevoir, and possibly Cinderace. I feel like Cinderace mains can really abuse that cooldown reduction. So if you play Cinderace in your main, please, if you see me, have mercy. That is all for this patch. I can't wait to try these all out. Feel free to subscribe and click the bell to be notified for that. Like the video if you found this interesting. Comment down below which buff/nerf do you think was most deserved, or you liked, disliked the most. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, trainers. Bye!